Okay, just waiting for YouTube to go live. 3, 2, 1.5. Hello, everybody. It's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Thank you for joining us here on YouTube. Every Monday, I'm hanging out with you, answering your Royal Caribbean Cruise questions. Thank you for joining us here. It's a beautiful Monday, and I'm excited to talk Royal Caribbean with all of you. Now, I'm going to answer as many questions as I possibly can, starting with the most important question. How many days until your next Royal Caribbean Cruise? Type your countdown in chat. Let us count down together. I probably should have looked this up before I began this broadcast, but I've got exactly 2 weeks from today, 14 days until Wonder of the Seas. And I'm so excited, to get back on Wonder, sure. But I think I'm going to get a preview of the new beach club, which I cannot wait for. Very excited for that. Welcome, everybody. Just got back home from Star of the Seas yesterday. Had a fabulous time. Happy belated Thanksgiving. I know we talked last week, but hope you had a wonderful holiday, unless you're from Canada, in which it was just another week for you guys. We had a couple super chats before our broadcast began, starting with Andrew. Andrew had one for us. 27 days until Ovation. What's the most interesting rumor circulating among crew or frequent cruisers right now? It's something that hasn't gone public, maybe, and it's something that is not the Discovery class. Great question. I mean, other than the Discovery class, I'm not sure what else is juicy out there, Andrew. I wish I had something, but that's basically all the scuttlebutt that's being discussed is the Discovery class. I think with the reveal that they're building a beach club in Santorini, Greece, maybe now there's a little more if they can build one there, where else would they build it? A beach club potentially, but I don't have anything really good beyond that. I feel like right now everyone's so hyper focused on the Discovery class. Bob Dickens, thank you for the super chat. Hello from Vegas. 33 days to Allure, 147 to Wonder, 460 until Radiance. Nice, Captain Bob. Hope you were doing well. Hope the wife is doing well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see my neighbor Kenny is in the chat. Hello, Kenny. Uliana is here. Jason Peterson checking in from the Utopia of the Seas. I am jealous, man. I mean, you're on a cruise, and I'm not, even though I was on one before. So, Crazy About Cruising, thank you for the super chat. Have you been to Love Beach, Nassau, or Sapphire Beach, St. Thomas? If so, do you recommend them? I've definitely not been to Love Beach. Have I been to Sapphire? I don't think so. Sapphire Beach, I've heard decent things about, but I haven't actually been there. I've been to Megan's Bay. I've been to Emerald Beach, been to St. John. In fact, Crazy About Cruising, the last 7 times I've been to St. John or St. Thomas, I've just gone to St. John because the beach there is so much better right there. So, also another question from Crazy About Cruising. Going to Paradise Beach Club in April, what do you think will be the best spot for a 12 to 19-year-old and their millennial parents? Probably either Chill Beach or Family Beach. I think the party one, I'm assuming, is going, I don't know this for a fact because it hasn't opened yet. But I'm assuming that the party beach area is going to be like hideaway beaches today at Cocoa Beach. That same vibe. I would think with teenagers, especially the 12-year-old, you'd be better off at either the Family Beach or the Chill side, quite frankly. Chris Stell, thank you for the super chat. 61 days till Icon. 440 to back-to-back on Allure. Think about a Greek Isle cruise in between. I don't hear much about them. Any advice? Dude, I mean, Greek Isle, you haven't heard anything about them. They're amazing. Everybody comes back. Everybody comes back and says Greek Isle cruises are amazing. I don't think the worst thing you can say about them is that some of the places can be very crowded. This is true of a lot of places in Europe, especially in the Mediterranean, where over tourism has been an issue. Santorini is definitely one of the ports that comes to mind. But I mean, it's not a problem. I wouldn't tell you not to go on the cruise, Chris, or not to book a Greek Isle cruise because of it. But it's one of the most probably best itineraries out there. It's just a easy home run. So I think that if you're thinking about it, I'd say go for it. It's definitely on my list. I would love to do a Greek Isle cruise. If only Tony Diaz would ask me to book that as a group cruise. David, thank you for the super chat. Just got off Adventure of the Seas, where I got to meet Jeff Robinson. He's a great guy. We mentioned you while riding the elevator. Jeff is a wonderful human being. We love Jeff. Jeff's he's not, I don't believe he ever comes in YouTube here, but he's been a Royal Caribbean Blog insider for a very long time. Huge supporter of what we do here at Royal Caribbean Blog. He's been on a number of group cruises. He harasses Don Goldstein. I mean, the guy is a living legend. We love Jeff. We actually love his wife, Lindsay, more, but Jeff's not a bad plus one. And Crazy Back Cruising, thank you for the super chat again about your question about the beach club. I think I would listen. Ask me again in like 3 weeks because I'll be back from the new beach club and I'll let you know the answer to that. Well, you don't have to give me a super chat for that one. Just ask me and I'll definitely hit you up for that. But I'm leaning towards probably chill or family. Becky Menken from MEI Travel is here, which, by the way, is always a pleasure. Welcome back, Becky. Also reminds me, guys, ladies and gentlemen, we have a members-only live stream coming up today, right after this broadcast, just for YouTube Club members. It'll be happening at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This will be our December broadcast. I know we've had a lot of them in between. We had one at the very end of October, then one right in the middle of November, and now we're doing one for December. But anyway, once a month, we do our members-only live stream. So immediately after this broadcast, it'll just be me and anybody who's a YouTube member, and you can join now if you'd like to. Able to join us for it. And Becky will be there with me. She's actually off of the Disney Super Expensive of the Seas and is going to be joining us for it, which will be a lot of fun. Donna Holt, hello. Michelle Stevenson, hello. The Teresa McShane from MEI Travel is here. Karen Carr, I got to meet Karen Carr, Onboard Star of the Seas. What a lovely lady. I got to tell you something. First of all, she looks exactly like her avatar. Like, some people don't look like them. My neighbor Kenny doesn't look, and he lives under a bridge in real life, and he shakes his fist angrily at teenagers and throws pool noodles at them going by on bicycles. But Karen looks exactly like she does here. She's a wonderful lady. Got a chance to chat with her a couple times. Lovely person. Good to see you, Karen, here. Welcome back. Anna Marie Myers. Holy smokes, Anna Marie. Hope you are doing well. Hope Caitlin's doing well as well. 185 days till Independence of the Seas. First mother-daughter trip of 2026. Anna Marie, we got to book another cruise together. Like, I had so much fun chatting with you on Utopia. So we got to make that happen again. Maybe you should book a group cruise. I think we talked about this, and I thought I peer pressured you enough into submission, but I guess I didn't. So we got to work on that. Frank became a club member for 4 months. Let's go. Thank you, Frank, for your support. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Cowboy Valley is here. Welcome. Bills fan in the house. Let's see here. Hey, Nathan, is there a ship home port in San Juan for summer 27? Not yet. Remember, Nathan, seasonal Caribbean is coming up next week. So probably that's where you'll see it over there. Let's see. Wow, a lot of great countdowns in here. Keys just booked Legend of the Seas. Love that. Felix Torres is here. Tony Diaz is here. Welcome, guys. Helcio Obrigado, my friend. Thank you for the super chat. Just railed up from studio interior to unobstructed ocean view balcony for $250 in Spectrum for a 9-night Christmas cruise. Not bad, dude. That is a great rail up right there. Have a crackly sound. I don't know why. Do I have a crackly sound, chat, or is it just Teresa's complaining? Tony, is this true? Crackling a bit, yes. I have no idea why, guys. I mean, literally, this microphone has not been touched, so I have no idea why that would be the case. I apologize, but crackly is better than not hearing me at all, I suppose. Wait. I tried turning up the gain. I don't know if that's going to do anything, but give that a try. Let's get rid of that. I don't know. See if that's any better. But, oh yeah, Hellsail. That's a great deal, man. $250. Not bad. 9-night cruise. That's a really good deal, actually. Let's see. Keys. Thank you for the super chat. Just booked an October 2027 Legend of the Seas. What are your favorites? Oh, let me try one more thing for the audio. Is the audio any better if I change it to, let me put that back on. Still crackly. All right, but no, let me change it to, where the heck is my webcam? Oh, there it is. Okay, how about now? Is it any better now? Testing. 7 years ago, our forefathers brought forth this nation. Okay. Just booked a Legend of the Seas. What are your favorite cruises for a Mediterranean cruise? I have never done a Med cruise. I've done Europe, but not the Med. But I'm doing my first Med cruise this summer on the aforementioned Legend Seas. All right, sounds worse. Well, that I expect. Okay, fine. I got nothing until nothing I can do besides that. As for the audio, I apologize, but It's the same setup I've had forever and ever. I don't know anything else I can do to fix it. This is like this. Another thing I can do is I could restart my computer. Now, if I restart my computer, it's a chance the live stream. I mean, the live stream will end, but the question is, will it allow me to come back into the live stream? That's the problem. And plus, I'm going to lose all the super chats. I can't. So, is it the printer? We're good now? Okay. You know what I did? Literally nothing. I sat here and complained. So, Tony Diaz, your method works. Sit around and complain, and sooner or later, it'll be fixed. But yeah, Keys, I don't have any good recommendations, but I'll let you ask me again after next summer. X-Ray, can you get the armbands for kids instead of the card on Allure of the Seas? You can get the WOW bands, yes, but you still need the SeaPass card there. So, yeah. Robin Riss from MEI Travel is here. Hello, Robin. Good to see you. By the way, I saw Karen Carr on board. I also saw KJ. Actually, the person I ran into the most on Star of the Seas last week was KJ. Evidently, he and I are doing the same thing all the time, which is either going to the casino or going to get something to eat. I ran into this man more times than anybody else, even my family. I saw my kids less than KJ. So pleasure to meet him on board. We talked about my neighbor Kenny and complained about him, and it was great. Let's see here, guys. Let's answer your cruise questions. Type your questions in chat. We have the next 50 minutes to answer your questions together. Chris Stell, thank you for the super chat. Greek Isle group cruise, let's go. I mean, there's only like 17 other group cruise ideas out there, but Tony doesn't really want to do one. I mean, Tony was like, he's just he's trying to be like part of the team, be a team player, but deep down, Tony Diaz really wants a 3-night cruise on Utopia of the Seas out of Port Canaveral, or better yet, a cruise out of Bayonne. But either way, I feel like I feel like we're twisting Tony's arm on this one. I feel like he's being pushed in a direction he doesn't want to go into, Dan, been a club member for 2 months. Dan, don't forget, right after this live broadcast, we're going to be doing the members only stream. 37 days till Vision from Baltimore and 89 days till the Brilliance Group Cruise. I'm looking forward to, you're one out of Vision. I'm sure it'll be lovely. But sir, I'm looking forward to seeing you and Mariana on board Brilliance in 89 days, which is crazy. We're exactly under final payment date, which means, oy vey, now they're going to ask me for the group cruise schedule. Oh, gosh. Thank you for your generosity, Dan. Anthony Serrano, thank you for the super chat. 6 days till my cruise on Star. Love you guys. Dude, as somebody who was on Star of the Seas, I can tell you, just last week, phenomenal ship. Ladies and gentlemen, there is the Icon class ships, and then there is everything else. It will spoil you so good. Ken is here. It was great meeting you on Star of the Seas. Keep up the great work here. Thank you. Pleasure to meet you on board. I met so many great folks on board the ship. It was a really nice time. So, yeah. Nellie's here. Go Yankees. Good to have you here. Keith Leonard, thank you for the super chat. 68 days till Oasis Star Class, 2-bedroom Aqua Theater. Any advice for first time in Star Class? Yes. Let me give you an article, Keith, about what I would recommend. That's not it. First time Star Class. There it is. I'm going to send you a link to an article I wrote, the Beginner's Guide to Sailing in Star Class. I'll post it in the chat. Truly, this is my best advice, Keith, in terms of taking advantage of it. But literally, if you're sitting in Star Class, ask for everything. You're not a bother. People think that when they're in Star Class, like, oh, I don't want to bother the genie. You're not bothering them. Trust me. There have been far other people. People have asked for way more beyond you. So, yeah. Dodie, if I already have a web end, do I need to stay in a long line at guest services to program for the cruise? Yes, you do. So either do it like immediately get on board the ship or wait for like a day or so, and then you'll be good. Let's see. David, club member for 27 months. Holy smokes. Thank you, David, for your support. Show Matt some love, become a Roller Blog Club member for before 25 comes to an end. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget, David, we have the members only stream coming up right after this one. But yeah, dude, that is very kind of you to say. Of course, the memberships, the super chats, they're just an option here. You certainly don't have to do it. but they're definitely appreciated. So thank you, my friend. Thank you. Let's see here. Robert, can't wait for Star. What ship do you think they're going to put in Miami when Icon moves? I think really Icon 4 is going to be the one that's over in there. So, yeah. John Grigorovich, thank you for the super chat. Missed you at Mayajan by a week. Did Icon. Best thing to do in Barbados. 46 days till Odyssey. Thanks, Matt. We appreciate you. First of all, I had a phenomenal time in Maya Chan as well. We had terrible hours in port, 7:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Ugh. But made the most of it. Went to Maya Chan. Totally worth the awful car ride over there. Just great time. So what's to do in Barbados? I feel like it's usually a beach stop. There's a lot of great beaches in Barbados. There are some tourist areas, like you can go do a tour of the island, which is okay. But I think really you should, I feel like all the Southern Caribbean, if you're not at the beach at some point, you're missing out on the best thing about doing the Southern Caribbean. I don't care which island it is. There's not one. The only one that really has like a bad rep for beaches is Bonaire. Other than that, I'm not aware of another island in the Southern Caribbean that Royal Caribbean goes to that would not be an excellent choice, like first choice for the beach. Kevin, is Jamaica still set to reopen later this month? Maybe. As of now, I've not heard anything otherwise that's different. Now, I like your cameo on Brian James' video. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Brian and I we met up, and then he just started filming during the Aqua Theater show, which was awesome. So very, very kind of him. Kate Bordeaux, thank you for the super chat. How does the process work? If you have connecting rooms or are lucky enough to roll up to a suite, easy enough to consolidate? No. In fact, it's impossible to consolidate. Basically, if you do a rail up and you have 2 rooms, you're going to be stuck with 2 rooms. There's no way around it, Kate. So what I tell people is if you have 2 rooms, do not do rail up. If you were to do a rail up and win a suite, you would basically have to just abandon the reservation on the second. It wouldn't work. So that's why I don't recommend doing it. Jeremy, thank you for the super chat. Galveston Group Cruiser, let's go. I mean, that's a great idea. I mean, they're all great ideas. And certainly that would be a lot easier to get to than, say, Greece. But and listen, 2027, we're going to have, of course, the new Perfect Day Mexico opening up, which I'm going to be really excited to see right there. Let's see. Next question. Jamie, what are your top to-dos in 2026? Probably there's going to be 2 new beach clubs opening. Will be open or will be opening in 2026, Jamie. So you've got the one in Nassau and the one in Cozumel. Legend of the Seas. Those are 3 off the bat right there. And for me, I mentioned this earlier. I'm going to be doing my first Mediterranean cruise, which I'm very excited about. I think it's going to be awesome. Tony said yes to Greece. No, Tony said yes to Greece like he wants to go get a greasy burger to eat. That's what he meant, Felix. It's hard to understand him. His thick New York, Long Island accent. Sometimes it's like, what did he say? Let's see. Hannah is here. Kelly, 3 weeks till 7-nighter on Mariner. Still no activities posted in menus. Activities won't be on there, Kelly. You're in terms of like entertainment to book a show, that's not possible on a Voyager class ship. So that's why you're not seeing it over there. And the menus, it probably will show up like less than a week before you're sailing. So yeah, kind of frustrating there, but it is what it is. Cameron Jenkins, thank you for the super chat. 14 and 18 days till Utopia. 74 to Quantum, 159 till Explorer, I assume. And 272 to Serenade and 390 to Legend. I just got the Platinum. Congratulations. But it says gold on cruise docks. Is that okay? Yeah, don't worry about that. First of all, it takes a little while for the system to catch up. But as long as you've got 14 days to your cruise, I'd imagine you would get it at that point. Is that like you already got to Platinum, right? But as for your cruise docks, totally irrelevant what it says on there. Truly, the most important thing is when you get on your cruise ship, your SeaPass card says your status on there. That's the most important thing. Otherwise, your status on your cruise docks, your status on your luggage tags, completely irrelevant. Elena, FYI, Royal Beach Club Nassau got a further price reduction today. Yes, I actually saw. I thank you for the heads up on that. I actually repriced my own for January with my good friend Craig. I don't know if Craig actually booked it, but anyway, it did go down in price for that one. It went up in price for my April cruise to celebrate Erica's birthday, my neighbor Erica. That one went up. But anyway, yeah, it's funny how that did actually go down on that one. So, how do you book an inaugural sailing? It's really easy. All you do is you call your MEI travel agent and you're like, Teresa, book me the inaugural cruise. And then she'll be like, Dunzo. That's how she talks. She always says Dunzo to everything she responds to. It's amazing. Let's see here. Next question. When will the Nassau Beach Club open? The official grand opening is December 23rd this year. Jimmy Romano, what's your favorite slot machine to increase your points total? Ooh, good question. There are two. One of my good friends, I have a lot of good friends. Evie. Evie's not actually in the chat, so Craig, let her know I'm very disappointed in her. Evie writes that the quick hits machine is usually pretty solid for that one. But I actually like, if I'm going straight points, and I don't care how boring it is, the old school slot machines where I can bet like $4 or $5 a spin, the ones that go and the reels go by. Those are actually pretty good at like win-loss ratio and getting points. The problem is they're really boring because there's no bonus or anything. They're just like, well, you're either winning or losing money. But the quick hits would be not a bad idea. The worst one is definitely either Frankenstein or Heidi. Fun machines, but terrible for points. Barry Redmond, thank you for the super chat. Pleased to meet you. Oh, you were Barry. Okay, so the English guy. I met Barry twice at least on board. And I actually saw Barry on Saturday at the 1400 bar. Gray ship slots were good to me. Yeah, I mean, they were good to me too. My wife, not so much. She lost a lot of money on it. I think she lost everything she ever bet in the casino. Whereas I was winning. I was like more up and down. But anyway, we had a good time. But good to meet you as well, my friend. Kelly Bolivari recommends the excursion tickets to the caves. There you go. KJ, been a club member for 4 months. My family truly appreciates the knowledge you've taught us to save money, especially getting on the ship by 10:15 a.m. No key and that secret parking space. Listen, we're not talking about that, okay? The secret parking spot is not to be talked about out loud. I'm never mentioning it again. Never, ever, ever, because I need it for me. Thank you for 4 months, KJ. See you at the members-only live stream coming up in 40 minutes. Glenn, thank you for the super chat. Icon in March, going to Maya Chan. Why is the ride horrible? Oh, the taxi. The reason is it's nothing to do with that. It's a dirt road for 75% of the ride, and there are a lot of. It's very bumpy. Glenn, when you go there, you will think to yourself, you'll regret it. You'll say, "This is the worst idea I've ever had," and the ride. It's a really, really, really bumpy ride. But when you get there, you will to Maya Chan, and you will. Then you'll realize, aha, now it's worth it. Venture24, thank you for the super chat. Do you know if Royal Caribbean is bringing Find My Kids to Icon? I believe so. I believe it's on both Icon and Star now. It's on Star for sure. I thought they brought it to Icon already, but it's available in Adventure Ocean if it is. Slew Dog, thank you for being a club member for 10 months. Thank you, my friend. Welcome back from Star of the Seas. We sailed her last month, an amazing ship. Did you snag any Black Friday deals? Besides the awesome deal on the Royal Beach Club, we got $12 lunches at Giovanni's and Chops, also $17 internet. Yeah, I got a few. The best one by far was the Beach Club. That dropped my price like in half, which was crazy good. I did actually I just booked the $17 internet package today for Cyber Monday for Brilliance of the Seas. I also booked one. Oh, there was actually a decent deal on Cocoa Beach Club cabanas for Erica's birthday cruise. My neighbor Erica, who invited me to go on there. And I think there were decent prices on there, but it wasn't a lot. I'll be honest. I think last year was definitely better in terms of the grand scheme of prices out there. I think also there were better prices for drink packages earlier this summer in a random sale in like August. But a couple things I was strategic about purchasing that definitely saved me some money. The biggest one being the Beach Club. That one alone will save me hundreds of dollars to do that. So there you go. Thank you, Sludog, for your generosity, or for your support rather, and your generosity. Jay Simpson, thank you for the super chat, my friend. 63 days till Utopia, first-time cruisers. Honest early opinion on Royal Beach Club in Nassau. I mean, I haven't been there yet. I mean, all right, that's a lie. I have been there, but it was under construction, and there was nothing like it was definitely not complete. My early opinion is this: right now, today, Nassau is a port I don't get off the ship at all. Every time I get off the ship in Nassau, I do it because I get stir crazy, and I'm like, I need to get off the ship and do something. And I go there. First of all, I do like the Bataan Death March walk from the pier all the way down, which inevitably is 500 degrees and 100% humidity, and I'm sweating to death. Then I get there, and I regret already having made this walk because I'm sweaty. Then I go to the bars in the area, and they're all unimpressive, expensive. Like, they cost more money for beers there than if I call my neighbor Kenny and meet us at the Home State Brewery down the street. Like, and by the way, Kenny, if you want to do that, well, all right, tonight I think 9:30. I think it's past both our bedtimes. But like, I mean, the pricing is ridiculous for what it is, and there's just not that many compelling options. That's why. So like, Nassau today is really disappointing. But when you go beyond that, and now enter the beach club, I mean, listen, it sounds like it's going to be the best features, things from best ideas from Perfect Day Kokoki consolidated into one little idea, all inclusive. It seems like it's really difficult not for it to be like a home run. And considering the pricing, as I just mentioned for Black Friday, that I got, $124 a person for all inclusive for the entire day, considering what Baha Mar and Atlantis charge, I think that's a huge win off the bat. Karen, thank you for the super chat. What's your favorite ship leaving out of Florida? If we go without the kids next time, maybe a 3 to 5 day. Well, it's still going to be like Star of the Seas. I mean, truly. But otherwise, I mean, favorite ship out of Florida. I mean, I'm assuming you're saying, Matt, I don't want to go on Star of the Seas again, or Icon for that matter. Okay. Utopia, probably would be my next choice. I like big ships. I like variety, Karen. I like latest and greatest. Those things mean more to me. The fact my kids are there or not is almost secondary in that case. Let's see. My next question. I gotta laugh out of that one. Making myself laugh at my own jokes. All right, there we go. Brad wants to know, when parking at Port Canaveral, do you need to drive through and drop luggage off to get to the parking lot? Next terminal, can you skip that and go straight to the lot? You can go straight to the lot. Not that I would do that, but yes. Sharon Stockman, good to see you, Sharon. Hope you are doing well. Thank you for the super chat. I'll be at the beach club for the grand opening. I'll be jealous of you. I think it's gonna be awesome. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts on that, Sharon. Should be fun. Let's see. Nope, Becky, we're never talking about the parking secret again. We're never talking about it again. I mean, what parking secret? Alexa, 26 days till Oasis, our first time. What are your thoughts on Palm Island and Aruba? Go on an independent excursion to swim with dolphins in Curacao. For Aruba, my recommendations are always Palm Beach or Eagle Beach. Personally, if it were me, like, and I put my money where my mouth is. I'm doing this on the Brilliant Screw Cruise in a couple months. I buy a day pass to an all-inclusive resort that's either on Palm Beach or Eagle Beach. Doesn't matter which one; they're both really good. Find one that has the advantage of doing that, Alexa, is like twofold. One, you get facilities. So you're going to get not only access to the beach, but you're going to have access to restaurants, dining, drinks, bathrooms, clean bathrooms, air-conditioned bathrooms, and uncrowded spaces. Less crowded, I should say. So that, like, alone is number one. And number two, especially if you're traveling with families and kids, having the choice of the beach and the pool is really, really nice there. And that's why I like that one. So that's personally. For Curacao and swimming with dolphins, if swimming with dolphins is something you're interested in doing, that would be a great idea. For me, that would be an absolutely terrible idea because I don't want to touch marine life at all. Like, marine life and birds are two things I never, ever, ever want to touch, like, ever. But obviously that's just me right there. Jason, why does Roku block VPN and internet package? They block certain protocols. I can tell you for a fact I'm able to use my VPN, but I can't use the default protocol. I have to fall back to one of the other ones. I use Windscribe, and they have, like, I don't know, 7 different protocols out there. So if the first one doesn't work, it just goes through until it finds one that does. So Jason, maybe try a different. As to why they block the first protocol, I have no idea, but they do. Let's see here. I'm Perfect Princess. Do you think the all-in package is worth it? I mean, it is going to save you money. If you're going to buy the internet, drink package, and a dining package, you'll save money with it. So yes, absolutely. The real question is of course, would you buy those things to begin with? I actually, before this live broadcast, I was looking at this for the Brilliant Screw Cruise if I want to get the all-in package. And I decided against it only because I don't think I wasn't going to buy a dining package, but it really wasn't going to be that much more money to get it. So yes, it definitely is a deal. It just, again, you've got to be in the market already for those three things, primarily. Assuming, of course, you're not also visiting like Perfect Day, Coco Key, of course, or the Beach Club in Nassau. KJ, Nassau is good for $12 Kalik right outside of the store. Yeah, but dude, like, I mean, I'm all for cheap beer. First of all, Kalik beer tastes like crap. Sans beer does too. I mean, just some of the worst beer I've ever had. Like, I'd rather drink Michelob Ultra back on board the ship. But those beers are not good, number one. Number two, the vibe. Like, if I'm imagining, hey, I'm in the Caribbean or the Bahamas and I want to have a beer, that's not like drinking on the stoop outside the store is not the vibe. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that. But yeah, that's why I'm pretty high on this new beach club. I think I just have a hard time believing they're not going to hit home run with it. I just can't imagine they're not. Like, how could they screw? It's like, how could they screw up beach, pool, drinks, and food? You know, especially some of the pricing with some of the better sales out there. Hey, Catherine, thank you for the super chat. 5 days till first ever cruise sailing on Adventure of the Seas. Should I park at the port, or do you pay when you go in and when you leave? Always park at the port. Always park at the port. And most of the places make you pay when you arrive. So that way, when you leave and the cruise is over, you can just drive right out. So yeah, that's usually, even in Port Canaveral, that's been the change there. So you're good to go on that front. Let's see here. Gabe, we're going on Utopia January 12th. Got an email thanking us for booking the President's Cruise. What does that mean? Did you book Icon of the Seas in October of next year? I think it's October. When it's the group cruise? Or it could have been a wrong email. Only I think about. Jacob Murphy, thank you for the super chat. Man, you guys are super generous today. Thank you all for your generosity. Spending New Year's Eve overnight in Aruba and on I'm going to assume it's Explore, not Enchantment. So unique. That's awesome. Anytime you can get an overnight sailing, I love that. And the fact you're going to be overnight in Aruba, maybe you'll have like probably a really good chance of seeing fireworks. That's even better. Love that. Wait. So Sista, thank you for the super chat. It's not Sue Sista, so as in like sewing. Thank you for the super chat. So 138 days till Icon celebrate my son's birthday. If I order birthday decorations for his room and somebody else in our group orders the same, we'll welcome and deliver multiples. Yes, they won't, unfortunately, they're not going to be like, oh, let's refund this person's money. Yeah, their system is not that sophisticated, number one. And number two, like, I say this in a nice way, they're not mind readers. So like maybe some people do want to buy multiple sets, which would be like, why would they do that? I don't know. People are weird. Like, that's something Tony Diaz would do. But like, I feel like otherwise, who knows? So yes, if you buy two, you're either going to get two or they're just going to keep charging you. You're going to get one. I don't know. But I wouldn't expect a refund automatically. David, by the way, Suze, one more thing. Let me go back. Hold on, David. What you could do is right before the sailing, like a week before the sailing, 3 days, call Royal Caribbean and say, just want to confirm there's only one of these ordered for this cabin. And they can tell you that. David, thank you for the super chat. I'm in Miami 2 days before the cruise. Any must-dos? Oh, boy. Yes. You probably want to go to South Beach. I think South Beach is really nice to go see. You don't have to go to the beach itself. It's kind of, there's basically Collins Avenue runs north to south, and you want to go check out that vibe there. The, what's the hotel for Marvelous Miss Maisel? The Fontainebleau is a historic hotel that like Frank Sinatra went to. I would go there just to check that out, have a meal there. It's a really cool area. So South Beach is one. I don't know what time of year you're going. There are sporting events in Miami. I mean, you've got the Marlins, which would be too cheap to go to because no one goes to Marlins games. You got the Marlins, you got the Miami Heat, you've got the Miami soccer team that Messi's on isn't actually in Miami. It's actually in Fort Lauderdale. A bit of a hike to get there, but you could go there. There's also the Dolphins, same thing. They actually play in Fort Lauderdale, but you could do that. The Frost Science Center, if you have kids, would be an excellent choice. There's the Aventura Mall, which I've heard it actually isn't as good as it used to be, but that's something to do. And then Bayside Marketplace is a tourist trap, but it's a really nice tourist trap right on the water. So might not be a bad idea right there. Christopher Biona, thank you for the super chat. Best gift you've gotten from a store on the ship? That's a great question. That I've gotten? Cheers, Mark McShane. I really don't know, Chris. I'd have to think about this. I've most always purchased things for my kids or my wife or something. But like, I'm gonna guess probably something that commemorates the ship I'm on. I always like those. Like the coffee mugs. That's not a very exciting gift, but that's the best I got right now. Bill, thanks for being a club member, dude. So Bill, right after this broadcast in about 20 minutes, it's gonna kick over to it automatically. We're gonna do a members only live stream, and you can join us for it, Bill. So stay tuned for that one. This will be awesome. Next question. Yeah, that's true. I don't like sloths either. I don't want any animals touching me. Unless it's a dog or a cat. No thanks. I don't want to touch any animals right there. Let's see here. Yeah, Matt, it's definitely gonna be Skipper. I mean, they put out like 2 other fake names there, but clearly it's gonna be Skipper. I would bet Tony Diaz's pension on it being Skipper, quite frankly. Are you going to be in January? Yes, I'll be there a little bit. Let's see. Gustavo, we're going on Brilliance of the Seas March 1st, 89 days from now. Yeah, I know who this is. This is Realtor Ben. I already know who you are, dude. Like, I mean, I see you all the time. Mackle, do the infamous baskets, the Staterooms Icon class ships, have wheels on the bottom? No, you just scrape. That's what makes it even worse. Not only can everybody see what's in there, but it goes, and when you put it back in, it's, yeah, not great. Bill, does MEI automatically get an alert if my current cruise drops in price? The answer is kind of. They have their own proprietary system that checks pricing. It doesn't run like, it's like, to answer your question, Bill, it's not like the second does Royal Caribbean changes the price, does MEI know? No. But they do have software that runs periodically to check it. So it's not like, I don't want to make it seem like they've got this magic machine that like the second Royal Caribbean changes its price, ding, the fries are done. They know that, that the price has gone down for your sailing. But in a vacuum, yes, sooner or later it will catch that price drop there. So does that make sense? Like, I don't want to make it seem like oversell it, but they do have a mechanism in place for things of that nature. Next question. Oh yeah, you can also go to good point, Wu Tang. You go to Little Havana for Cuban food. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much like the next best thing to actually go into Cuba itself, right? So yeah, absolutely. C Dunn. Thank you for the super chat. Wonder if the Seas has returned to the port of Miami. Just checking to see if anyone knows why. I don't. I'm going to guess like there's a 99.9% chance it's a medical emergency. Somebody slipped and fell, heart attack, things of that nature. Unfortunately, it happens a lot. Like medical emergencies on cruise ships for like, again, broken bones, heart attacks, things of that nature are, I hate to say it, fairly common. That happens a lot. And if it's depending on where the ship is, it's just easier, safer, better to just go back into port rather than have to risk a costly and somewhat riskier. And riskier, I mean like there's just an added element of risk of a Coast Guard helicopter coming for a medevac. They can do it, but really they prefer the ship to just go back into port. And considering that the distance between Miami, which is where Wonder's internet connection's back. Considering where Wonder is based out of Miami and the distance between Miami and Nassau or Coco Key, it's pretty easy to get back quite quickly. So I suspect that's why they went there. But I'm not Don and Judy Goldstein, who are experts in that matter. Barbara, thank you for the super chat. I have a trip in September of 2026 on Icon. I'm a breastfeeding mom of a boy that'll be 1 by then. Are there fridges in the rooms I can save milk? By default, there are fridges, but not what you want. What you want is a medical fridge, Barbara. So what you want to do is ask to put on your reservation a request for a medical fridge. That is one that will actually keep your fridge cold enough for things not to go bad. If you use the one that's in the room, unless I don't know how long you need to keep it for, but it won't keep for very long. It's not cold enough. It's more of a chilling fridge, like not a chill. God, even I was like, oh, it's bad. It's more like just like not. It's not like a true refrigerator. So instead, you really want to ask for a medical fridge. Your travel agent can do it. You can put it on. You can call Royal Caribbean to put it on your reservation. I think there's a form you can actually fill out online, but one of those will be there. So yeah. Matt freaks out when butterflies fly random. Listen, when they go after your eyeballs, you'll thank me that you freaked out as well. Okay, I'm just saying. Ray and Nancy, thank you for the super chat. Matt, thanks for all you do. Love the interview with the designers. Yeah, if you guys have listened, first of all, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the kind words. This past week's podcast episode that we had last week with Wilson Butler Architects was amazing. So cool to hear those stories. I loved it as well, so I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Michael DE64, thank you for the super chat. Selling out of Sydney on Anthem in January. Do you recommend having Australian, New Zealand currency or US dollars for tips on board? US dollars, especially on board the ship. There is never a need, no matter where Royal Caribbean sails from, to never just be using US dollars on board the ship. So, you don't need to exchange local currency. I think you'll be fine. In fact, they'll be quite happy to take US dollars anyway. So nothing wrong with the Australian dollary dues, but US dollars are definitely fine right there. We have 20 minutes, guys, until our members only live chat coming up immediately after this, just for YouTube members. So HS 20 days to Utopia. Do you have any special festivities for the opening day of Royal Beach Club Paradise Island? I don't know. The answer is no. I don't know the answer. It's a good question, but certainly there'll be a lot of pomp and circumstance and a lot of executives that'll be there to make sure everything goes right. Let's see. C-Done, thank you again for the super chat. My nighttime ritual is we watch the Port of Miami on YouTube. Also, I'm C-Done in Texas. Okay. Yeah, with this, unfortunately, with YouTube changing everybody's username to like their like machine names, I don't understand. It's hard to keep track of who everybody is. Plus, I can't keep track of my neighbor Kenny. But anyway, C-Done, you're welcome. And watching the port cams are kind of fun. It's definitely I don't watch them as much as I used to, but I do like watching them from time to time, just like having on the back, especially when a ship is docked in port. And just watching them kind of hang out there. It's like not the next best thing, but it's nice in there. JC, I don't remember cruise prices being so volatile. One cruise dropped $1,000. Dude, that's great. But yeah, I mean, must be and as Becky pointed out there, with availability, you never know. All right. I will say that I haven't had that many price drops recently, but could be some other ones that are out there. What mistakes should I definitely avoid on a cruise with Royal Caribbean? Having a great time, positively unforgettable vacation. I feel like when it comes to, and we have a lot of videos here on our channel that I recommend you check out. But truly, when you're looking at mistakes, really it's about planning. And being in a video like this already, you're off to the races in terms of what you should be doing, like pre-planning, pre-purchasing, research. The biggest mistake for most people is they don't do any research. They show up and they run into problems that probably could have been avoidable with just a little bit of research ahead of time. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, going back to the question about the price drop feature that MEI has, it's a tool that notifies us when the software sweeps, but we do watch if we see something before we do. We'll let us know. We'll call it. There you go. So, yeah, it's basically, it's magic. Teresa McShane at MEI and the other agents are like dunzo, and boom, they get it right there. So, yeah, easy peasy. Oh, Sharon, for the breast milk question earlier, contact special needs department. You can certainly do that. There's like a lot of ways. Basically, gosh, there's like an online form where you can request things like your bed being configuration, and all sharps container for needles, as well as a medical fridge. So you definitely want to do that before the cruise. Yeah. And Nelly points out, and rightfully so, the med fridges are very small. So again, if you're like, Matt, I just want to be able to pump and like use it like with less than 12 hours later, I think the fridge that's there is probably fine for that, but I wouldn't use it for overnight, something like that. And certainly there's no freezer option right there. How much would you tip for a mocktail? For any drink I order, Michelle, I just tip them $1. Like that's my go-to tip. I usually have a wad of dollars on me, and I'll throw $1 right out there. So yeah. AV bomb. Got a lot of mixed emotions on the crowd control on Icon of the Seas. What's your personal experience with that? What crowd? What crowd? Like I was just on Star. Crowds are like, I don't say they're non-existent, but there are so few crowds on the Icon class ships that, I mean, unless there's the only time there are crowds are when they want to have crowds. I mean, obviously when a show lets out, like for the Aqua Theater or for the main theater, like okay, for like 5 minutes, yes, there's a crowd there. Everyone trying to get out of there and go in the elevator or whatnot. The Royal Promenade when there's supposed to be a party, but like really and truly, crowds are not a problem on the Icon class. I mean, and again, I'm saying this not only from my own experience, but also from my experience last week on Star and Thanksgiving when we had 2,500 people under the age of 18 on board the ship. I mean, I don't want to make it seem like it's a private yacht, but it was definitely uncrowded. It did not, like, I felt way more crowds on Freedom of the Seas when I was on there a couple weeks ago than I did on Star of the Seas, just because of the great crowd flow and control that you find on these Icon class ships. So I hope that answers your question, Avi. I wouldn't worry about it if I was you right there. Do they do any line dancing on ships like Galveston? No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe, but Don, considering the average age of the passengers, the increased activity level in the new diet, it's hard to understand. It is hard to understand why there are not more medical emergencies on board. You're not wrong on there. I mean, listen, Don is a retired Coast Guard commander. He knows his stuff right there. So when it comes to anything related to the realms of the Coast Guard and medical emergencies, I defer to Don on this one. But yeah, happens a lot. When cruise ship, and I see it all the time, you see on social media, hey, why is this ship headed back to port, or why is the ship docked here late at night? It's almost always a medical emergency, and it's almost always a medical, and a lot of them are not like, I mean, I don't want to say they're not life and death, but they're like, they're not nearly as many people die on them as you think. It's just that, it's just the safest course of action because the medical facility on board, it's really for triaging. It's for basic stuff. But when it goes beyond basic, they want to get the person off the ship as quickly and as safely as possible to a proper hospital facility to get treatment. So yeah. Dude, can we go to the bar in Wonderland if we aren't dining there? It depends on the. Oh, you're going on Wonder. Yes, on Wonder you can because they have a dedicated bar that's for that. If you were on like Anthem, no, but Wonder, yes, you absolutely can. Next question. Any chance that you'll do any groups on Grandeur? I want to go on the ship before retirement. Probably, if I'm being honest with you, if we ever have a group cruise on Grandeur of the Seas, it'll be for the when they announce the ship's retirement. We'll do like one last hurrah to get on there, like exactly what you want to do. Beyond that, I mean, I hate to say it, but there's very little. I feel like there's very little appetite, both from myself as well as a lot of our members here, for a group cruise on a Vision class ship. Not that we have a problem with the Vision class ship, but like it's just not very conducive for it in the grand scheme of things. But so the answer is not never, but unlikely anytime soon, unfortunately. Let's see. Oh. Can you recommend a good place to stay in San Juan? So I booked the Rumbao Hotel, Rumbabo. It's the old Sheraton. The old Sheraton Hotel in downtown San Juan. Now it's a Marriott resort. I've stayed there in the past. Now, granted, I've not been there since the changeover, so it could be the worst hotel in the world. But I booked it, for what it's worth, for my cruise in March. And when I stayed there when it was the Sheraton, it was great. I mean, it was fine. It was a serviceable, great location. That's the best thing about it. But it was clean, well-maintained. So, yeah, I like that hotel a lot. So I don't have any beyond that hotel. If you wanted something else, the Marriott Stellaris would be a decent second choice. It's probably going to cost you more money, but it's in let's call it New San Juan. Whether or not that's good or bad for you. What do they normally have on the Christmas menu on Christmas Day in the main dining room? The Thanksgiving menu. I mean, the Thanksgiving menu, the Christmas menu, and the New Year's menu are all the same. It's just turkey and very little. I mean, probably not pumpkin pie, but it's a very similar menu. They basically have turkey, ham, and a couple other choices there. Smokey Bandit is here. Hello, Smokey Bandit. Good to see you. Guys, we only have 10 minutes left in this broadcast, but in 10 minutes, we'll be doing a members-only live stream just for our YouTube members coming up in 10 minutes. So looking forward to that. And Becky Menken from MEI Travel will be joining us for it, which will be awesome. Oh, Becky, you probably want the link for that one, don't you? I do too. I'll send it to you in the interim period between the two before you ask me for it. Let's see. If we ever do a Galveston group cruise, we'll be sure to start a line dance. This is my line dance. Should be fun. JC, what are the consequences if you have 2 rooms, one for the kids, and you only book the dining package for just the 2 adults or the key? Just curious. I noticed you can do that. The consequences are you're going to have to pay cash for everything else. I mean, the key is basically the perks that you have for people that buy it don't apply to the kids. So obviously, if you go to a restaurant, you'll have to pay cash, the regular rate for kids in those restaurants. For the key, it doesn't apply to them at all. So you can't take advantage of any, like when you go to lunch on embarkation day, the kids wouldn't be allowed there for lunch because they're not key members. So things like priority times, things like that wouldn't apply to them as well. So basically, I wouldn't recommend it. I don't recommend the key in general, but you know that. Let's see. Bob the Mule. A pre-cruise Royal Caribbean employee posted in the Royal Caribbean subreddit saying that repricing is going to be harder going forward because of the T&C on deals now saying new bookings. If you heard this, I have heard this from people who book with Royal Caribbean, which is why I say, and I've been saying this for a long time, but why I say, do not book your cruise with the cruise line. Book with a good travel agent. Because I'll tell you this much, I've heard a lot of complaining from folks who book with the cruise line directly and have had a hard time repricing under the new terms and conditions. But you know what? My MEI travel agent hasn't had a problem at all. Every time I've had a reprice, I just had one on Legend of the Seas. Bingo, dunzo, easy. So the answer is don't book with the cruise line. You've got nothing to lose, everything to gain with a travel agent. I know I'm biased, but come on, that's the way around this problem. So there you go. All the more reason to use a good travel agent. But that's an interesting point. I'll actually have to, Bob, you inspired me for a blog post. Bob the Mule, where are you, Bob? Copy. Do some homework after this broadcast. Cool. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate you. What did I think about the show tour? I actually love. I know I was giving Brian a hard time in there. My problem with the Aqua shows, especially Icons, is I feel like the Aqua shows are always good, but they're always like 15 minutes too long. In the case of Icons Aqua show, the skateboarding segment is totally dumb. They should remove it. It doesn't impress anybody. It's just them doing ollies back and forth, and it takes too much time setting up with the robots. Anyway, Torque, I thought the pacing was fantastic. I still think Aqua 80s is the best because it's got 80s music exclusively, but I think Torque was very impressive. I probably would say it's my second favorite one in the fleet. So I think they really did a great job with that. I never felt during the Aqua show, during Torque, that it was like, oh God, this is the part where it takes so long. I'm not a fan of slack lines. I think if I could personally get rid of the slack lines and all of them, I'd get rid of the slack lines. But my wife thinks I'm crazy for that one. So anyway, yeah, there you go. Yeah, KJ saw Torque 3 times. Really good show. Really, really and truly. What ship has the best Aqua show? Oh, Oasis of the Seas, Michelle. Aqua 80s. We have 5 minutes, guys, till our members only live stream. So we got a couple more questions left on here. Would they let me board by other verification methods? I remember when I bailed on my last cruise last minute day, actually, because I didn't have my. No, it's not Royal Caribbean. This is not like Royal Caribbean whose rules. This is the country you're sailing from. In this case, the U.S. So it's not like, listen, they know who you are. I know who you are. That's not the question. The issue is this is a legal issue related to immigration and emigration out of the country. That's the problem. So it's not a Royal Caribbean thing. The answer is no. You got to have the right documentation, bottom line. There's no excuse otherwise. You can't get out of there. Ainsley, thank you for the super chat. Just repressed my cruise from March yesterday. Nice. Love that. Fantastic. Robin loves Slacklines. I don't know. I appreciate, first of all, I can't do any of the things they do in the Aqua show. But I feel like the slackline is the least interesting part of the show. I just feel like it's like, I don't know, it doesn't do anything for me. I'm like, okay, they're bouncing up and down on a glorified trampoline, but more power. I can't do it. I'm not saying I could do it. I'm not saying it's not impressive. It's just the least impressive part of the show. That's all. But that's just that's a critique by me. All right, we answered that question. Can they please stop the crew competition trying to get guests to eat in the main dining room versus other venues? It makes sense for awkward moments. Chicago Quantum is really bad. Yeah, it's interesting. Do you mean like you get like the do you mean like to get you to eat in the main dining room, or you're in the main dining room and they come to get you to eat in a specialty restaurant? We've definitely gotten the phone calls like, Mr. Antonio, why are you not in the main dining room? Which I always thought was, basically if they're going for that one, it's like, why are you not in the main dining room? It's coming from a good place. Like they want to make sure that you're not going there. You're not going there. I know I said not. You're basically, they want to make sure that you're not going there out of some reason, out of a problem, because they want to solve the problem. They don't want this to ever get to a point where like, we would have liked to go on the main dining room, but there's this issue and we didn't, it just bothered us. So they're trying to say, can we make your cruise better? That kind of a thing. But some people just prefer to eat in the Windjammer, right? And just do their own thing and not go there. And that's where I think the awkwardness comes from. The other side of the coin is when you're in the main dining room and they want to, hey, you want to come to Zoomy? They're just trying to bump up the numbers there and sales and whatnot. And it's a business. A simple no thanks usually works. But yeah, I get it. Do the members have to wear a members-only jacket during the chat? Yes, 100%. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Time for one or two more questions. I got to head on out of here for our members only live stream. Matt Carolini, I'm sailing on Oasis of the Seas. If I'm sailing out of Fort Lauderdale and returning there, do I need my passport? Can I get by with my birth certificate and ID? You can definitely do that. But you should always use a passport. Like I would say, no matter what, you should always cruise the passport as your primary option. But if you don't have a passport and it's too late to get one or whatever, yeah, you could, and assuming you're an American citizen, then yes, you can. That's the other thing. You need to be an American, sailing out of the same port that you're beginning and ending in, and that's it. You're an American in the same ports, then yes, you can use your birth certificate and ID. But it needs to be the original birth certificate, not a copy. It's got to be the original, raised seal on it. All right. Well, I think, I'll answer one more question from JP. We just got home from the Odyssey. By comparison, we missed a lot of our trip on the Symphony. In your opinion, will we have the same lacking takeaway book? Wait, what? Just got home from Odyssey. By comparison, we missed a lot. Oh, do you mean like, I know what you mean. It depends. This is more about, I think, perspective, expectations. Obviously, Odyssey, a Quantum class ship, and Symphony, an Oasis class ship, do have pretty different setups, as does Independence, a Voyager class ship. So if you go into the cruise being like, listen, if it doesn't have everything that you can find on Symphony, it's a problem, then yes, you will. But if you go in with the right expectations, okay, it's not this ship, it's its own thing there, I think you'll be okay there. Brian Hall coming with the super chat at the very last minute. Thank you, Brian, for the super chat. My family and I just had the 2 best week vacation, Epic Universe and Utopia of the Seas. Shout out to Grace from MEI Travel for making it amazing. First of all, I love Grace. Second of all, that sounds like an awesome trip. I'm jealous. That sounds like a great family vacation. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have run out of time here, but we have another 30 minutes or so, at least, maybe an hour of more chat coming up exclusively for Royal Caribbean Blog Club members. So stay tuned for that one. Until then, I want to say a big thank you to all of our super chatters, our club members today. Thank you all for your generous support. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you. If we don't get a chance to talk in the next 5 minutes, then I hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube next Monday. Until then, have a wonderful week, everybody. Stay safe out there. Do something fun like book a cruise, and we'll talk again real soon. Bye, everyone. Good night, Samantha.